So I was gonna do a video today on the different types of flying spacecraft in Antarctica, and I kind of got off on a tangent and I went somewhere else, so I'll do it at a later time. But we're gonna go back into Hitler's area here, New Schwabenland. You know, basically over here by the fudge out marked that's on everybody's screen. And you know, good computer, good graphics card, good monitor. Okay, check. Let's go. So I know I mentioned before how um, orientation is everything when you're looking at these things. So I'm just going to point out this spot and this spot. And it doesn't look like anything. I mean, you can zoom in, it doesn't look like anything. Well, what about if you flip it over? So let's try it. Oh, gee, there's a different picture. Well, what you see here are two astronauts. You know, nothing strange other than they're, you know, 30 feet tall. You know, practicing or something. But if you look over here next to this guy, you can see it kind of looks like almost like a half of a jumping jack. You got round balls with these bars or something holding it, bringing it together, you know. But this thing's off the ground. It's levitating right now. And I can't tell you how many times that I will zoom in on something, particularly some type of being, and they're waving at the camera. It's like, you know, I don't know, telepathic. I mean, how do you know when the picture's being taken all the time? You know, but here's another one. He could not be waving, but, you know, you kind of see that thing floating over here now. But it looks like he's waving. I see it all the time. Here's two astronauts. Okay? And reason why I dove into this site, I can see these pathways, and they're around, and I kind of went and dug and dug and dug, and this is kind of what I was coming up with so far. There's so much in here, it's just mind-boggling. We're going to go over to my marker number 1 over here, okay? Gonna start getting out there again. You know, I just find it funny that I'm the only one that sees any of this, or maybe it's because I want to see it, but I don't think so, because I see it everywhere. It's just everywhere. So I'm going to come in over here. Pretty interesting. Before I zoom in too far, there's like a log or a chair or something, but here's a being sitting on it. Kind of looking orange, so I don't know if it's a monk or not, but kind of looking orange. I mean, you can see the shoes, the feet. Okay, here's a person. You look behind him or her. This is an animal. Here's the eyeball. This is an animal. Guy sitting on a log. You measured his animal from the back down to the ground. It's like 30 feet tall. I have no idea what it is. It looks rather peculiar. And there's other things in here. There's always other things. But I'm going to try to keep it relatively simple. But, save that for another day. But, you know, these are footprints down here. And you can see there's a pathway. And you go up a little bit. For the lack of a better word, man, I just don't have anything else to call it, but it's Santa Claus. I mean, straight up, dressed up like Santa Claus. Or it certainly looks like it. He's carrying something. Santa Claus is bearing gifts. I mean, check it out. There's all kinds of stuff in here. There's something pretty interesting. Should have marked it better. But here is a head. Okay, it's looking at the ground. Here's its arm. Here's the other arm. They're wrenching on something. You look over here. I mean, what kind of being is this? Some kind of reptoid of some sort? I mean, I don't know. Well, what I can tell you is right here This is an adjustable wrench. They're wrenching on something. These two guys are working on whatever it is they're working on over here. And there's other people as well, but I just figured I'd show you this. This is the guy's head. He's looking down, working on something. This is an adjustable wrench that this guy's got in his hand. They're cranking on something. I mean, you can see it plain as day. Moving along. Hopefully I didn't miss anything or too much. Okay, gonna start getting deep. And I'm just gonna zoom in on this. Here's a being. Looks like it got blonde hair. Here's another being. Looks like it got a pointy nose. What the heck is that, man? This I'm not sure about, but it very well could be a kid. I don't know, but if this is a family, boy oh boy. Come over here. There's something strange. I'm not even going to go into that. But what I want you to look at is this white snow right here. Okay, it gets heavily pixelated where it's just the picture's completely gone. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more. But if you look, this is a being right here, and this ain't just a being. This guy is huge, and he's dressed for battle. And I mean, I'm not kidding you. This is like one of them Genghis Khan knife sword things. You know, you can see that here. This is his arm, and he's got a bunch of different color bands on it. But this guy is going to battle. He's got some kind of hat on. I'll zoom in a little bit. He's got a beard and a mustache. You know, there's his hat. But if you look, well, you can see. This is a shield right here. Okay, and that's why they fudged a little bit of this bird's wing out over here. But this is a shield right here. He's carrying something else in his hand, a staff or something. You know, I'm assuming it's a weapon. I mean, you come with a shield dressed up like this, man, you're going to battle. But it looks, when you look, it looks like this wing is over this guy's shoulder. Here it is again. I showed you him before. Here's a hooded being in a robe, and the wing is on the other side of his shoulder. It looks like this thing is like holding the two of these beings. And there's something here, there's something here, there's a few things around. But, you know, there's something round down by his legs, and you can't really tell because it gets so pixelated, you just can't make out past like his kneecap. But check this out for yourself. And there is another black mark, and I'm going to say it's a robe. This is a being's hand, okay? Here's an eyeball, here's an eyeball, here's his nose, and here's his mouth. He either just took this robe off, or he's putting it on somebody. There it is. So check it out for yourself. I'm going to bounce out. I got a marker number 2 over here. You know, you zoom in like this, doesn't really look like a whole lot. Okay. But see how my 2 is? It's all about orientation. So we got to flip her around. Get kind of lined up with my 2. Come on, baby. Okay, close enough. Now look at this thing. Well, heck, man, this thing's protruding out of the ground pretty severely. Well, gee, look at here. Here's another astronaut. There's a ledge. This thing's sitting up on the ledge. And now we're going to start getting a little bit deeper. Start looking in here, and before we zoom out, I'm going to show you this spot right here. This is a being's hat. He's wearing a hat. And you zoom in a little bit closer, and what you start to see, here's his face. He's got his hand up against his face like he's saying, oh no. He got long hair. Here's his shoulder with his arm over a chair. He's sitting in a chair. His arm is over the back of the chair with an expression saying, oh no. Okay. Once again, you see him looking at the cameras. Here's a being. Eyeball, eyeball. Here's his nose, small mouth. It looks like it's well, it's huge, but a baby by comparison. But here's like a park bench. Here's the top, the backrest of a park bench. Okay, here's the bottom of the bench. It's facing this way. You know, they're having a little chat here. You look over here, and I'm going to show you. Here it appears that this guy's wearing a hat as well. This guy's got a red beard. It kind of looks like his hair is black, but I mean, you can see his ear right here. But his beard is red. You know, here's his nose. You know, kind of looks like he's got some pretty heavy eyebrows, perhaps. But here's another being. What are they looking at? You know, this guy's saying, "Oh no," and they're both of these guys are looking over here. Well, if you look over here, I'm gonna call these little people. Okay. Now, if you measure it out, I measured this one. It's 6 feet tall. So this is the size of us. So, I mean, what the heck is that? I mean, these things have got to only reside in inner Earth or hollow Earth because, I mean, on the surface they'd stick out like a sore thumb. And most of the time, other than a few exceptions that I found, I mean, they're usually in the shadows of some sort. But, I mean, these people are talking, and these things are, this one here is 6 feet tall. So, I mean, look at the size of these beings, man. They're just absolutely massive. They're massive. I'm going to leave you there for today. And I think that's enough research for yourself. So until next time.